Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Little Brother Liang's daily driving channel. Today we are going to talk about the 4-month experience of this Leapmotor B10. So my version is the 510 range version with 激光雷达. It is advertised it can be able to self-drive after they update the software in the 4th season this year, but so far there hasn't been any sign that it is a self-driving car. But as the price of this car is pretty low, as I mentioned before in my previous videos, it is reasonable that it sometimes will have some bugs show up on the middle screen and it couldn't drive itself. But overall experience after I drive it for 5,000 kilometers, I think it is doing pretty good at its own price range, say from 90,000 RM, approximately 90 or 100,000 RMB. That's a good buy. So let me talk about the pros and cons of this car. So let's talk about the advantages first. The most important or the biggest advantage is that it really saves the oil consumption, which means we only I managed to spend only about 30 to 50 RMB per month on the electricity consumption, which is pretty low compared to the previous about 1,000 RMB on the oil on a hey, how to say 内燃机 on the 内燃机 the old energy cars, and that saves a lot of money per month. Secondly, the second biggest advantage would be the air conditioner. So with the mobile phone application, we can remotely turn on the air conditioner before we get into the car. So that is especially helpful when we are in open air condition. If you have a garage, that's not a big deal, but if you park your car in the open air after a long period exposed in the sunshine, it could be very uncomfortable to get into the car without your air conditioner is fully working. So that's a second advantage. Now third, what is the third biggest advantage of this car? I don't know. Maybe it just feels like newer than previous ones that I used to drive the cars with the age of 10 to 15 years old. Although they drive still pretty good, they have, because those old German cars, they are well engineered and the quality of the materials, they're usually pretty high. So my experience with them are usually good, but because they are aged, so some parts they have to get maintained, means we have to repair them or replace them. But with this new car, so far there isn't anything we need to change them out. But at the point of 3,000 kilometers, we have the first maintenance. They just check the car, and they even told me that the battery health on this particular car is still 100% health. Can you believe that? That is amazing. Now, let's talk about, I have talked about 3 advantages, and now let's share 3 disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage is that it couldn't provide with too much 情绪价值. So it is just a commuting car. It gives me safety ride from point A to point B, and that's it. No more, no less. There's no engine revs, no sounds. Although I think this car has a man-made or not man-made machine sound, but that's completely different from what the real combustion engine sounds like. The second disadvantage is I don't have a family garage charge, so I always have to go out and take a few minutes to the nearest station to get my battery charged. Although the time isn't very long, but it is still a little bit inconvenient. Well, the third disadvantage is the overall performance of this car. Well, it is a little bit strict to this car, because actually I think the chassis, the steering wheel, or the overall comfortability of this car is pretty good, but still compared to the old Porsche Cayenne 957, that is at the same price range of let's say couple grand. This car there is less confident in it, so sometimes I have to drive it very passively, very protective, in order to avoid any potential accidents. And that is all. No big deal. As you know, every car could have some minor problems, and so is this car. But at this price point, I think it is still a good buy. But can you believe it? At the earliest, as one of the earliest buyer or consumer of this Leapmotor B10, I was able to get this car at a pretty low price. And for this price, I think after a couple years of using it, there isn't much depreciation, or at least compared to those high-end EVs, this car, they sell at a pretty reasonable price or competitive price. After a couple of years, I think it is still a good value. That's what I think after 4 months of using this car. Maybe my opinion will change as the time passes by, but right now I think it's a good buy. So it is a good value. So I'm looking forward for more Leapmotor new EVs coming to the market. Maybe the next one, Lava 05. I think the design of that is really astonishing. Well, that is the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to subscribe for more videos coming up. See you next time. Bye bye.